the next chapter that we have to study is about the internal trade. Okay, internal trade. So in the first chapter we have studied about the classification of business activities, isn't it? So then we divided that the economic activities are there, and they are divided into industry and trade. So in the trade is divided again into different categories, that is internal and external trade. So in that we studied what is internal trade means within the country itself. If the transactions are taking place within a country, that is called as the internal trade. The trade refers to buying and selling of goods and services with the objective of earning profit. Mankind has been engaged in trading in some form or the other since early days of civilization. The importance of trade in modern times has increased as new products are being developed every day and are being made available for consumption throughout the world. No individual or country can claim to be self-sufficient in producing all the goods and services required by it. Thus, each one is engaged in producing what is best suited to produce and exchanging the excess product with others. So we know, like trade means buying and selling of goods and services. So that is called a trade. Purchase something and sell it. So buying and selling of goods and services is considered as a trade. And this trade is there from very old age onwards. So very strong, like earlier, the first type of trade that was there is about barter system was there. Okay, so they exchange things for things. Like if I have some rice and if I give to somebody and I will take some meat from that person. So that was the system earlier. That was the first type of trade was there. Okay, barter system was there. Then after that they found that it is very much difficult. It is not that easy. Like if I have to exchange with that person and if I need if I have some rice to give and I want to get some vegetables. But see, like if I give 1 kilogram of rice and if I receive 1 kilogram of vegetable, then the value is not equal. Or if I give 1 kilogram of rice and in exchange if I want 1 kilogram of gold, it is not possible. Or there will not be a person who is who needs to take rice and give me vegetable. So if one person is having vegetables to sell, but he does not want rice to take, so he wants only wheat. But I have only rice to give, then there is no possibility. So such kind of difficulties are there. So it is, and also there was no any like a shop like things and all were not there. So it is like exchanged and they had to search for the people and make the business like that. So then they discovered a solution for that is money. And first there was coins was there. Or we can say metal money was there first. So like you might have heard about like gold coins, silver coins and bronze coins like that. So first the money was like that. Metal money was there, and even after that, first these precious metals were used. Then after that, money was made in like steel coins, like 1 rupee, 2 rupee coins, and all are there that we already now, even now we are using such kind of coins were. After that, paper money came in. Paper like printed notes, currency notes, paper money came in. Then after that, again it found it very difficult to transactions and all. Then they made plastic money. So like swiping cards are there. Those things like credit cards, debit cards, all these cards started using. That is called plastic money. And now the latest form is digital money. So now it is not necessary like a Paytm or a Google Pay, or even all the banks are having their own net banking systems, mobile banking, all this. So now the money is in the form of digital transactions. So such a way there are so many different forms are there. So all this money is exchanged and the transactions are taking place. Whatever is the form of the money that we are making the transaction, but there is exchange, trade is taking place. Buying and selling of goods and services. And now the need of this marketing or buying and selling has been increased because there are varieties of products. Earlier, if you consider like you go to a market and you purchase like rice or vegetables or whatever things you are purchasing, that only few brands were. So earlier people used to, like if you want to have let's say chili. So chili powder, if you want, there was no chili powder. Okay, only chili was available. You have to bring it and you have to make it powder. That the mixer they are using. on the stone they are grinding in and using, or haldi or this what say chili. All the masalas were available just like a khada masala like that, and they had to mix it. But now you will get all the masalas in the packet, and also there are so many brands are there, like MDH is there, or Goldie is there. So many brands are there. So and it is like a chili powder itself. There are so many 4-5 brands are there. Or if you want to make like paneer, if it is there, so paneer masala is there, kadai paneer masala is there, shahi paneer is there. Okay, so many varieties of masalas are available. So whatever you want, you just have to take a packet and put it in the curry and make it so much easy became. So earlier it was not there. Whatever you have to purchase chili, you have to purchase the this coriander or turmeric, all these things, and you have to mix it. You should know. So such a way it was there, but now it became very much easier. All the type of products are there. There is so much amount of advancement, like washing machine. If you consider, earlier people used to use clothes washing on the stones, and after that the machines came with washing machines are there, but semi-automatic machines were there, like 2 drums are there. One you have to put in, then you have to put water, then you have to put soap powder, all these things, and you put it for rotating. It will rotate for some time. After that you have to remove the water, then you have to fill the water, then after that you have to take it and put it in another drum for drying. So then it will rotate. So all the works, even though work was done by machine, but most of the works we had to do. But now the fully automatic machine is there. You put the cloth there and switch it on and sleep well. Then after some time the machine will say that washing is over. So there will be alarm, and you have, by the time the clothes will be almost 80% dried, so you have to put it for drying, and it will come like that. Now the latest things are there, like machines are coming, like they will wash, they will iron and fold, and just like from the, this one is coming. It is just like shirts are there, it will fold and come like that. Okay, like from the shop when you are getting, so this coming for 5 shirts, all the ones very ironed like things will come. Okay, so very much modern technologies are there, all these products are there. So these products or these things makes the life of the people easier, and for that we do. And see, like all there are different countries, and different countries are producing different type of products. Okay, like India is an agricultural based country, so we have earlier around 70 to 80% of our the economy was fully depending on agriculture. Now the dependence on agriculture is getting reduced. So we start so much amount of industries, and the development has been taken place, and we are more depending on the industrial products. But still we are having so much amount of these agricultural works are there. But we produce some products which is more, see like how much is required for our country, even more than that we produce. So what we do is that we sell these products to other countries, and there is like Saudi Arabia or Gulf countries and all are there. There they are not producing anything. They are only producing the petroleum products, So they are only having petrol, diesel, all these type of things, and they sell it to the other countries, and they get all the other products. So they will export these things to different countries, and they get money, and with that money they purchase all the things required, because in that Saudi Arabia and all is fully desert. Okay, no like cultivation and all is not possible. Okay, so they have to, all the food items they are purchasing from other countries. Okay, so there are so many countries, they are whatever. It is not possible that like in India, all the things whatever is required for India cannot be manufactured in one country itself. So we don't have raw materials, we don't have any full amount of things are not there. So we have to bring the products from other country, and whatever we are producing, so which is expert, which we can produce more, that we produce more, and we sell it to other country and we get the money, and with that money we purchase products from other countries. Okay, so on the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, trade can be broadly classified into 2 categories: internal trade and external trade. Trade which take place within a country is called internal trade. So there are different type of trades are there, and based on the geographical locations of different buyers and sellers. So where the person is located, if the person is in India and in another person is in America, so 2 countries are there. So if the 2 countries transactions are there, then we call it external trade. Okay, and if the buyer and a seller both are in one country, in India itself. Like if he is maybe from Kerala and another one maybe the buyer is from maybe UP or Delhi, so within the country itself, but no transaction between another country. So such kind of transaction can be called as a internal trade. Okay. So when the buyer and the seller is from the same country, we call it internal trade. The present chapter discusses in detail the meaning and the nature of internal trade and explains its different types and the role of chambers of commerce in promoting internal trade. So now in this chapter we are going to study about the internal trade. So we don't discuss about the external trade, but mostly we discuss about internal trade. See, let us see what is internal trade. Buying and selling of goods and services within the boundaries of a nation are referred to as internal trade. You can underline that. What is internal trade? Buying and selling of goods and services within the boundaries of a nation are referred to as internal trade. So when a product is purchased and sold within the country, within the boundaries of one country itself, it is called as the internal trade. Whether the products are purchased from a neighborhood shop in a locality or a central market or a departmental store or a mall or even from any door-to-door salesperson or from an exhibition, all these are examples of internal trade, as the goods are purchased from an individual or establishment within a country. No customs duty or import duty is levied in such trade, as goods are part of domestic production and are meant for domestic consumption. Generally, payment has to be made in the legal tender of the country or any other acceptable currency. So whenever we make the transactions, so like legal tender means that the government of India has made, like in India we can say rupees. Okay, so the rupee is the legal tender in India. So we have to, whatever transactions that we make, so for that we are paying the money. So like if you go to a vegetable market here and they say that 100 rupees we have to pay. So you are giving $2 there. Then they will not accept it. Because they don't have any use. Or if you like, if you give like Nepali money, if you go to Nepal, you can say that like if you there in Nepal, some shops they accept the Indian currency also. So because mostly people go there and purchase things, but on the border, when you cross the border, you get like you can give Indian money there and you can get the Nepali money exchange. So the money, so when you are making transaction there, you have to give the Nepali money there. And if you come and give, like here in our shop, if you give Nepali money, they will not accept it. Because the Nepali money is a little less value than our money. So like 100 rupees of Indian money is almost equal to around 140 rupees of Nepali. It means the more money is there. It means that the value of money is less there. Okay. So that is why when you go to purchase products from Nepal, we get in a less price. Means the price of the product is, means money we are paying is more, but value is little less compared to our money. Okay. So that difference we can find. So we can say that internal trade can be classified into two broad categories: wholesale trade and retail trade. Generally, for products which are to be distributed to a large number of buyers who are located over a wide geographical area, it becomes very difficult for the producers to reach all the consumers or users directly. For example, if vegetable oil or bathing soap or salt produced in a factory in any part of the country are to reach millions of consumers throughout the country, the help of wholesalers and retailers becomes very important. Purchase and sale of goods and services in large quantities for the purpose of resale or intermediate use is referred to as wholesale trade. You can underline that. What is a wholesale trade? Purchase and sale of goods and services in large quantities for the purpose of resale or intermediate use is referred to as wholesale trade. So wholesale trade means that purchasing large quantity of product from the producer and for the purpose of reselling it. Okay, they are not purchasing it for the purpose of selling, using or they are just purchasing it and they sell it in a, like they purchase it like 100 products they purchase together, and 10 products to one shopkeeper, 10 product to another shopkeeper, 10 product to maybe another shopkeeper. Such a way they distribute in a small quantity. So like that there are like big shops are there. Like if you go to Basti or Gorakhpur and all, you will purchase big shops are there. So like here we are having all the shops here in Hare and all we are having is retail shops. Okay, but when you go to Basti, Gorakhpur or Lucknow and all, they will find that they are dealing with the products in bulk quantity, big quantity. So normally customers will not go and purchase there, but these shopkeepers, they will go and purchase bulk quantity products from there. Okay, so that is called as the wholesale shop or wholesale business. On the other hand, purchase and sale of goods in relatively small quantities, generally to the ultimate consumers, is referred to as the retail trade. Traders dealing in wholesale trade are called wholesale traders, and those who dealing in retail trade are called retailers. Both retailers and wholesalers are important marketing intermediaries who perform very useful function in the process of exchange of goods and services between producers and the users or ultimate consumers. Internal trade aims at equitable distribution of goods within a nation speedily and at a reasonable cost. So the retailers means that people those who are purchasing products in bulk quantity and sell to the customers directly or the end users. So we are end users. So we are using the product. So the wholesale shopkeeper, retail shopkeeper is also not purchasing the product for the purpose of using. He is purchasing it for reselling. But what is the difference between a wholesaler or a retailer or a consumer is that a consumer is the one who is purchasing the product for the purpose of consumption, using. Like if you are purchasing a pen, if a shopkeeper is purchasing a pen, he is not purchasing it for writing, he is using for reselling. But we are purchasing the pen for writing purpose. So we are consuming the product, using the product. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that is why we call it as a consumers or users. And the retail shopkeepers, they sell it to the users. Okay. So first there will be a producer. Okay. So there is a producer, and the producer will sell it to the wholesaler, and he will give to the retailer, and he will give to the customer. Okay. So this is the transaction that is taking place. First the producers are producing the product and they will hand over this product a very large quantity. Like imagine that total 1000 or 10,000 product is manufactured. Okay. If 10,000 product is manufactured, then out of that 10,000, the 1,000 product is handed over to this wholesaler. Okay. And this wholesaler will take maybe like a 100 product. Okay. So to the customer, he will take only one or two products. Understood? Okay. So the company produces 10,000 product and they give it to 10 wholesalers, 1,000 each. Okay. So he will be in maybe like this wholesaler is in UP, another wholesaler will be in Kerala, another will be in Tamil Nadu, another will be in Orissa or different places. Do you understand? So they will be supplying the products to different areas. Okay. From there, he got 1,000 products either from UP or maybe like in Gorakhpur it is coming. So here he is selling 1,000 product and this 1,000 product is given to so many retailers. So here this person he will get here they will distribute this product to, like in Haria will be there, Kaptanganj is there, or Thavni is there, Bafnan is there. So different areas they will be distributing to different retailers. So they will be selling in that they purchase maybe 100 or 50 or 20, such a way very small quantity they purchase, and they will again give it to the shop. And the customer will come, he will purchase one or two product. Okay, maximum 4 or 5. Like pen and all, if you are purchasing one packet of pen, sometimes you may be like students and all are there. So you during the exam you go and purchase one packet of pen. So maybe 5 pen or 10 pen maximum. Okay, that's all. And you keep it and you may use it. Normally people purchase one or two like that, very less in numbers. Okay, so such a way the trade is taking place. Okay. Next we have to study is what is wholesale trade. Again, we are going to study about wholesale trade in detail. So already we have discussed about what is wholesale trade and what is retail trade. Then again we are going in detail about the wholesale trade. As discussed in the previous section, wholesale trade refers to buying and selling of goods and services in large quantities for the purpose of resale or immediate use. Wholesaling is concerned with the activities of those persons or establishment which sell to retailers and other merchants and or to industrial, institutional and commercial users, but who do not sell in a significant amount to ultimate consumers. Wholesalers serves as an important link between the manufacturers and the retailers. They enable the producers not only to reach a large number of buyers spread over the wide geographical area, but also to perform a variety of functions in the process of distribution of goods and services. They generally take the title of the goods and bear the business risk by purchasing and selling the goods in their own name. They purchase in bulk and sell in small lots to the retailers or industrial users. They undertake various activities such as grading of products, packing into smaller lots, storage, transportation, promotion of goods, collection of market information, collection of small and scattered orders or of retailers, and distribution of supplies to them. They also relieve the retailers of manufacturing, maintaining large stock of articles and extend credit facilities to them. Most of the functions performed by the wholesalers are such which cannot be eliminated. If there are no wholesalers, these functions shall have to be performed either by the manufacturer or by the retailers. Okay. So there are so many functions or so many activities that the wholesalers are doing. So they collect the product directly from the producers in a large quantity. Okay, so this will be coming like 1,000 products will be in one packet, big packet. Transportation packet it is called as transportation packs. You might have seen that big cardboard box and all, and in that there will be 100 packet like biscuit and all. If you take, there will be like one packet will be there. In that some 100 biscuit packets or 200 or 500 like a big amount of products are. So that will be in a big box. Okay. So, but these wholesalers, they will take this product, but this 100 product together, they can, or 1,000 product is coming as one packet. So, this full product cannot be given to a retailer. So, what they will do, they will repack this product. So, sometimes inside that box, like if 1,000 one box is there, inside that 100 each small box will be there. Isn't it? So, such a way it will be coming. So, then they will open this packet and they may take the small like 100 pieces together, that will be given to the retailers. Okay, and they do a lot of functions like they will promote this product, like advertisement of the product, like some like wholesalers, like there are some distributing company, marketing companies and all of that. Like you might have heard about this Unilever Corporation, isn't it? So Unilever Corporation is not a company which is manufacturing any product. They don't manufacture any product. They only purchase and sell. They do the wholesaling activities, so marketing activities. But they do, like imagine that you have studied, like you have heard about like Colgate is there, Close-Up is there. So these are the products manufactured by different companies. But this Unilever Corporation, they purchase this product, full of their product. Like if the company is producing 1 lakh product, all this 1 lakh product the company will purchase. So they make agreement with the company, and this particular company who is manufacturing, they cannot sell the product to any other person. They can sell only to Unilever Corporation. Okay, and they purchase the entire product, and they do marketing, they will do advertisement, they will do transportation of the product, they will do insurance of the product, they will do all the sorts of activities, and they distribute the product all throughout the country. Do you understand? So they have their own distribution channel, they have their own system. But you see, like if a small company wants to distribute, if a company, imagine that if a company is in Tamil Nadu, and if that company wants to sell the product in UP, so then they have to transport this product to UP first. Then they have to give advertisement here. Okay, so all these type of works are very much expensive. So we have to call one container and we have to sell the product and we have to send it and we have to find a relationship with the customers here, wholesalers here. So it is not an easy job for one particular small company. But this Unilever Corporation, they are having all network all throughout the country. Okay, so So they have their own transportation measures are there, they have their own containers, or they have ships, all the things are there. So they do these type of works, and they are having also connection with the advertisements companies. So they will do all this also work. And they have connection with the another small all the wholesalers. So they will supply this product to different areas. You understand? So they will take one container full of product from Tamil Nadu, and they will supply it in sometimes they will give in Telangana, Maharashtra, Gujarat, then Punjab, then UP, then Bihar. So every place the container will be going just like that, and they will be supplying this product in different areas. You understand? So they have connection with the everyone. So these are the works. So these wholesalers, they take the product, they take the security of the product, they store the product, they transport the product, all these type of functions they are doing. So we have studied about so many functions are there. Like they generally take the title of the goods and bear the business risk by purchasing and selling the goods in their own name. So they take the name of the product, they take the risk of transporting the product. They purchase in bulk and sell in small lots to the retailer or industrial users. They undertake various activities such as grading of product, packing into smaller lots. So they grade the product. See, like their products will be of different grades, like especially the agricultural products and so on are there. So they are of different grades. Like if you consider like tea, okay. So tea leaves are there. So there are different types of tea. Imagine actually like you might have heard like green label, red label, like different brands are there, or they are of different grades. Okay. So, but they are of different quality. So first quality product is a second quality, third quality, all these are there. So they will divide it into different grades. Okay. So grading of the product will be done. Then packaging into smaller lots. So sometimes if the bulk quantity is coming, all the like as I told you, like 1,000 product is coming in one packet, they will repack it into small pack. Okay, that work they will do. Then storage. So they have to store these products, and so these wholesale companies will have big storerooms and all. They will store the product. They will transport the product to the retailers. So like if there is a wholesaler in Gorakhpur, they will distribute the product in they will bring the product, they will bring with one truck, and they will supply it in Basti, they will supply in Haraya, they will give it in Kaptan, there is a Chowni, like that all the way from here to Lucknow, all the way they will supply it. So they have transportation system, and such a promotion of the goods, they do some of like extra promotions, like promotional activities and all they will do. So all these type of works the wholesalers are doing. And if the wholesalers were not there to do such kind of services, then all this work has to be done either by the company or by the retailers. Okay, so they make a link between the producers and the retailers. Okay, so these are the functions of the wholesale trade. Okay, thank you so much.